Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career with me, Daniel. It's episode 34 and today we're back for our last first class game before the T20 season starts. We'll obviously be showing you plenty of action from that, but I thought we'd fit in one more first class game. It gives us a chance to show our Alistair Cook credentials, and if the last few games are anything to go by, a chance to score very quickly, as most of the bowling attacks are still bowling on leg stump, despite the increase to veteran difficulty. But firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. I really do appreciate it as always. I hope you're still enjoying the content, both from Cricket 19 and FM 19, and we're also towards the end of our Snooker 19 career. We're of course making good progress in this career, as we're playing well for Yorkshire at county level. We will go back in one of the next few episodes, just to look back at our season as a whole. We've made lots of progress in various competitions, and despite a few relative failures, we've had so many more successes and a really strong season overall. We'll of course look at our selection status as well in one of the next few, but we keep having to come back mid-match. This one in fact we've only just started, but we wanted to make sure we were in to bat first. So if we look at the scorecard, is it a completely blank canvas? None without loss at the start of day one. We've got some good bowlers coming in against us here, as we're joined by Harry Brook at the top of the order again. Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow are back from international duty, and the other couple of youngsters have dropped back out the side. So we'll be back in a moment to face the first ball. Let me know how you think we'll get on, and hopefully we'll be able to put on a decent score, rather than get out relatively early. First ball of the innings then, and one of the other reasons we're showing this game is a grassy pitch which we've never played on at county level. We edge away a single with the first ball, as it's a very picturesque background. I'm not sure which ground this is supposed to be, certainly not the Headingley we've seen so far. So maybe it is the ground for our opponent Somerset. I'm not quite sure what Taunton looks like, but I'm hoping it is a bit like this, as I'd certainly like to visit it if so. It's over the wicket again, Ben Green for the second over. Harry Brook seen off 5 dot balls, often a slow starter as we know from previous games, and we often come flying out the traps at the other end, as there's plenty of balls and space down the leg side to enable us to hit boundaries like that. The skipper's going to have a word pretty early on, but I'm not sure that's going to change too much. 5 runs off our first 2 deliveries, and we're starting in the way we mean to go on. That one's a better delivery and we almost edge it. We've really got to be careful with those ones across the stumps. They don't show, but there's plenty of deviation. It makes it really difficult to get away. So Green wins the second delivery. Who's going to win the battle of the third? It's a short ball and he's bowled us. What a disastrous start that is. Outside leg stump. We thought we'd hook the short ball, and that's the consequence of the grassy pitch, I guess. It just didn't bounce at all. Skidded on and smashed into the bails, and we're out for 5 off 4 balls, one of our worst failures of the season. Certainly not the plan we had for this episode, so we're going to skip through for the rest of the innings, and we'll be back in a moment to see how the club got on. Well, after a very disappointing short first innings with the bat, our team have come to our rescue, and we're back for the start of our second batting innings with the match in a much better position. We did go through the first bowling innings as well. We only got given 6 overs by the skipper Joe Root, but we made an impact in that time too, just as the game started to look to get away. So if we go and have a look at the scorecard to see where the game is at the moment, of course we're just about to start the second innings, and you probably want to know what sort of style we'll be playing, and that's going to be answered by the next screen. We are in an absolutely brilliant position. 471 on the board. Jack Leaning and Joe Root both agonisingly missing out on centuries, and then Somerset only managed 188 in reply. Pillan's taking 5 wickets and skittering through the middle order, and that leaves us in a brilliant position here. We're only on day 2, but we lead by almost 300, and we're going to be able to be more aggressive and try and score some runs quickly. So let's go and have a look at the bowling scorecard as we try to prepare ourselves not to get tempted by the short ball again. Somerset obviously did well in the first innings, although we were saved by a number of good batsmen. David Willey got 73 as well. Harry Brook, Adam Life and Johnny Bairstow all reaching half centuries. So unfortunate that the other 2 got out in the late 90s. One of them bowled by England hero Jack Leach, who's obviously had a pretty memorable summer in real life. If we go on to the first innings for Somerset though, you can see we took a crucial wicket along there. Third was our one caught by Bairstow. Babar Azam, the Pakistani international, international, 18 off 34 deliveries, as we struck pretty early in our spell. After that, the middle order was skittled away, Pillan's coming in and doing the job quickly, but if we look at our figures, 1 for 6 off 6 overs, 4 maidens and an incredible economy. It was almost like being back at club level again. And then at the start of this innings, we've obviously got to try and score quick, and score big while we're doing so as well. But the one worry at the start of this innings is that their bowler's coming around the wicket. So maybe they've learnt their lesson from the first one, where obviously the Yorkshire took advantage, and although we didn't have a great spell personally, the team's the most important thing. What a way it would be to go into the break as we start playing the T20 Blast, and obviously that's going to be a new competition for us, so this can almost be a warm-up in aggressive play. So let's get into it and hope it lasts longer than 4 balls this time, and even if it only lasts 20 or 30, we need to be scoring at a strike rate of at least 100. So let's go and find out how we get on. Hopefully we won't edge one early. Into the second innings then, same bowler as the first over last time, coming around the wicket, so we might have to defend the first few. It's a tough ball and it swings away outside off stump. We've really got to be careful of the edges here, the grassy pitch causing havoc with the bounce. We obviously got out to a short ball which hit the stumps in the first innings, so that shows you how little it's bouncing. As we're coming around the wicket again, can we get this one away? We can't, we just defended outside off stump, maybe not aggressive quite so quickly as intended. Of course, in our first spell, it was unfortunately the second over that got us. This one's a little more central. We tried to get it to the leg side, and at this point I just want a single to get off strike, as we're really struggling with the swing of the new ball. If we can survive this over in a second against green, hopefully we'll build a little bit of confidence and maybe go on longer than last time. A short ball which we just defend. We know we can't risk leaving those now. It almost cost us in the first ball of the first innings, and it did eventually cost us in the second over. So let's go and get into the 5th ball. I think we're just going to play out a maiden here. There's no real intent on scoring runs, and Harry Brook had the right idea before, that we do finally get a connection on one. It goes straight to the fielder in the circle. 5 balls gone and no runs made, and we've certainly had a few scares in there too. Final ball then, can we find a run? Keep ourselves on strike potentially. It's a slightly narrower delivery, but we're forced into defending. A very good first over around the wicket, and it just begs the question why they don't do it more often. Really good first over. Hopefully Harry Brook has more success. Well, what we didn't realise in that first over, it was actually the last one of the second session, so it was a really good time for us to play out a maiden, rather than trying to be aggressive. We've done so with the first ball to green, just as we did last time round. The ball's gone for 4, but next time he got his wicket, so we've got to be careful not to get out this over. Only 1 ball left as Harry Brook saw off the first 4, and our strike rate's looking a bit more respectable now, as we defend the fuller delivery. It was coming across the stumps and we had to be careful, and after 2 overs Yorkshire are 5 without loss. 3 overs gone and Harry Brook's added another 6. This one's outside leg stump and we managed to get it away. Not a perfect connection, but will surely be at least 2, and even manages to trickle to the boundary for 4. We're really starting to get motoring now. Green obviously had confidence against us, having got us out the first innings, and we were obviously a little bit apprehensive about facing him, but this time we've dealt with a short ball as well, and we quickly cancelled the run thinking it was going straight to the fielder, but somehow it's made it to the boundary there. I'm not sure how anyone can explain that. A very bad animation of a car in the background. Funny the things the eyes get drawn to. 10 balls gone and we've now got 12 runs. We really are starting to make an impact and scoring very quickly in this innings. That one's probably just going to be 1. It isn't. It beats the fielder in the deep. How that's gone for 4 I'm not quite sure. Our placement looks to be good early on. 3 boundaries off 3 balls to green. That takes us on to 16 in no time at all, and hopefully we'll get another chance from this one. Not the best connection, but it beats the fielder again. The umpire does very well to get out the way, and even if it doesn't reach the boundary, it's going to be at least 3 runs. I think it has just made it over the line in the end, despite the best efforts of the chasing fielder. Can we complete the whole over then? 4 fours already. This one's across the stumps and we get a connection, but it's not a particularly good one, and in the end we have to scramble for a single. Harry Brook's back on strike after watching the carnage at the other end. Hopefully it'll give him a little bit of confidence to go and be a tad more aggressive. The spinner's come in very early as a result, and I'd imagine he's going to bowl a much tighter line. The spinner's in then, he's a right armour around the wicket, good line straight on the stumps, there's a man in the deep so it'll just be a single, but a good way to start our spell against the spinner. And in fact, actually, it's right arm spin at both ends. We've been working on a sweep shot, but he's got that fielder there, so we will have to be a little bit more careful as we pick him out with the first ball and cancel the run in a hurry. Brooks seen off another 5 balls at the other end. He's not in a rush to get going. He can just stay there long term and let us be aggressive till we get out. A bit of a practice for the T20 season, as this one does go away to deep mid wicket. Another run to put Brook back on strike. It's Don Best back in at the other end. One man deep on the leg side, otherwise we've got to defend outside off. This one a pretty good defensive shot as we continue to keep a strong shape. Second ball of the over, and they've changed the field here. If this one's on the stumps, we're going to get 4. Oh, we don't beat the fielder in the circle. That's a really wasteful shot. We should have got between the two there, and we would have been guaranteed a boundary. Now they've gone back to the field from the first ball, and it's going to make him very tricky to get away. Hopefully we can just get 1. It's outside off, so we have to defend. A really good start from the spinner, actually, other than that one pretty strange ball. The field's changed again. They've obviously got some experiments up their sleeves. Let's see what we can go for here. Just tickled away for a single. The man at deep mid wicket runs in, and it's just going to be 1 more for Yorkshire. Waller at the other end, the spinner in for his second over. Plenty of space on the leg side. Full delivery is a pretty good one actually, and we might be able to nick 2 here, but we haven't got a good enough connection. The fielder gets round very quickly, and it is just going to be 1 more. Harry Brooks into double figures at the other end, and we're both going along very nicely. Of course it's spin from both ends now as Bess is back in. Oh, that's a terrible wide delivery. I was just about to say, will it be on the stumps again? It went flying, it barely landed on the pitch, and he's going to have to bowl that one again. The field's changed, and this one we can hit to the leg side for a single. Back to normal service after that strange first ball. Harry Brook can face the next deliveries. Interesting field here to Waller for his second ball. The first one just went through to the keeper. Harry Brook got 6 off the rest of the last over, and again we don't get a great connection on that shot, but it is going to be 1 and Brooks back on strike as Yorkshire move on to 45. 10 overs gone. Harry Brook being very defensive against the spinners actually, but again we've got these 2 fielders we can hit between, and this time we do connect with it perfectly. Rushes to the boundary for 4 more, and we move on towards our 30s. 31 off 25 deliveries, and the lead's just 18 away from 350. Even if we get a really quick 200 here, doesn't have to be the biggest innings in the world for Yorkshire, just to get to that sort of 200 mark and put them under pressure chasing 450, 500. We know it's virtually impossible. The 50 partnership comes up with that single there as well. Really good start from us too, and after that minor blip in the first innings, we look like we've made a quick recovery. Being aggressive is going to suit us in this innings. No real responsibilities come with it. This one's outside off though, so we have to rush it down the ground, and in the end we hit it into the floor, which works pretty perfectly as it goes to the fielder. In comes Waller again. Of the 2 spinners, we have struggled with him a bit more actually, as again we're playing outside off stump. We're trying to be a little more aggressive and find that gap in the cover area of the field, but now it's been covered for this delivery as he's given us that tempting gap on the leg side. 2 fielders in the inner circle. Can we beat them with this ball? We can't. It's straight to the man on the leg side, and unfortunately it's another dot ball. 3 more deliveries from Waller we haven't scored off as he goes to the leg side this time. We beat the man in the circle and it will just be a single. Harry Brook back to face a bit more spin. 33 off 30, and now we're facing Bess at the other end again, trying to go to the leg side and beat that fielder in the deep. Unfortunately this one was straight to him though, so just 1 more run. The run rate's starting to slow slightly for Yorkshire, but the lead continues to increase. 10 wickets and plenty of time left in the game, so we don't have to take as many risks against the spinner. We are struggling with Waller at this end though. He's almost got an economy as good as us in fact. Just 1.5 and over at the moment, though that one's going to help. Between those 2 fielders in the circle for 4, they are not learning their lessons and we're scoring big runs. Yorkshire up to 60 and that'll improve things as we're edging close to a quick half century. Back to the normal field after 1 ball then, so we've got a chance to get between these 2 fielders again, and we managed it perfectly to move into the 40s, and we are not far away from 50 now. What a brilliant achievement that would be after the unexpected failure in the first innings. A wicket as well, and then if we can contribute a 50 in the second innings, we'll feel like we've done our bit in this match. Again there's space to the man at deep mid wicket, so we can get a single there if we read it right, but the fielder does well as it's not particularly well aimed, and in the end it's going to be be another dot ball. Waller's still certainly been the better bowler of the two spinners, but we've managed to get a couple of boundaries away this time. This one's outside leg, it's a really poor ball, and although there is a fielder back there in the deep, and he's pretty fine to deal with that shot, it is still going to be another run. Yorkshire on to 65 without loss. Best back in for the 15th over. Again, just that one man in the deep on the leg side. We connect with this one pretty perfectly though, so it is a single to start the over, as Harry Brook continues to go steadily at the other end. Well, he obviously heard me, I spoke too soon. We've actually not faced a ball for about 2 overs. Joe Root's now in alongside us after Harry Brook got out for 26. The spinner got him and he was caught by Banton. 26 off 55 deliveries, and now Joe Root's in on 3 off 10. The pace bowler's back in coming over the wicket, so we're just going to try and get to our 50, and then we will probably round off the episode, having reached another milestone despite a failure. Good to see both a success and failure in the same episode for once. Normally it's one or the other, and we're either miserable or really excited. So to have that little balance measure is good, to see both sides of the coin, and this one's a short delivery from the bowler, really poor from the paceman outside leg stump, and we didn't hit it particularly well. It was relatively slow off the hips, and it reaches the boundary to get 4 in the end. You wouldn't expect to get more than 1 for it, but now we can be more aggressive. They put the fielder out there on the leg side, and it allows us to be more attacking, and although we don't manage to get a 6 on this occasion, we have got a 4 and it goes to the leg side. It's a boundary to take us past 50 as well. 52 off 39 balls, and those last 2 deliveries made our strike rate look great. 40 of our runs coming via boundaries. We will see off the rest of this over before we celebrate and round off the rest of the episode. So they've left that massive gap on the leg side, and this is where we got our 6s last time, so we're going to try and go towards that boundary at mid wicket again. No one there and no risk at all. This time it's 1 bounce for 4 though. It didn't quite have the power to make it. I think it's just because of the lower bounce on the grassy pitch. It doesn't quite have the same momentum, and it doesn't quite carry as high in the air. This one's miles outside off stump. He's learned his lesson and gone the other way. Why don't they bowl that line more often? Maybe a little tighter as that one's a wide, but it'd certainly prevent a lot more runs. They've put the fielder back out on that leg side, so we're going to have to cut it fine again, and hopefully we'll get at least 2 runs, and then I'll put the fielder back finer. It's gone for 4 as he can't quite get there. This has been a very fruitful over so far. 4 fours and a wide, and we've still got 2 more to face, and we've now moved on to 60 off 41 balls. Joe Root at the other end hopefully watching and thinking he should be going in the England team. This one we've tried to smash to the boundary for 6, and unfortunately we've hit it a little bit early, and in the end we were lucky to get an edge on it. Last ball of the over and this episode. They've brought 2 fielders in the circle on the leg side, but there's none out on the boundary, so as soon as we beat them, it's going to go for 4 more runs like that. 21 off the over, 5 fours and a wide. A fantastic knock so far, and we needed to score quickly. We've got to make sure we put on a big total pretty quick, and hopefully we'll be able to get a comfortable victory. Somerset's certainly not been at their best. Let's just see if Joe Root adds any runs. He's got himself out at the other end, so we're possibly going to have to be even more aggressive here. If we're going to run out of partners quickly, we might as well go all out attack in the meantime. But at the moment Yorkshire are in a fantastic position, as are we personally in this second innings, and what a way that was to finish the episode, particularly after starting with such a poor failure. Let's not forget we only got 5 off 4 balls in the first innings, 1 4 and 1 single, and after that we looked like getting out the other 2 balls, and of course we eventually did to a short one. We got fooled by the grassy pitch and the fact it didn't bounce, and that's something we've got to learn and remember in the future. Of course it's a new experience for us, so we expect to have difficulties, but in this innings we've got a plenty of freedom, so we can almost play this first class match like a T20. You saw us hit the pace bowler for 21 in the last over, and we'll continue to take that approach till we get out. The T20 season's just around the corner, and that's what you're going to see in the next episode, so hopefully we'll be well warmed up after this one, and if we can reach a century it'd be fantastic. But if you did enjoy this episode and the mixed fortunes in the 2 innings, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I really do appreciate your support as always, and hope you continue to enjoy the content as we've got another new competition around the corner. Let me know in the comments how you're getting on in your careers. Obviously I haven't asked that one for a little while. Are you still at county level or even club level beforehand? Or are you ahead of me and now getting international honours? Have you played in any of the big T20 tournaments as well? The likes of the IPL or the Big Bash in Australia? Or even if you played in the Sheffield Shield, one we'll be hoping to get a call up for this year. Hopefully England duty's not too far away, but we'll wait and see what happens if our form continues. Subscribe to the channel for 3 episodes a week from this Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. That schedule will continue until the release of FM20, where we'll be continuing the series with 2 episodes a week. Talking of FM20, we'll have plenty of news from that one in the coming weeks. Keep an eye out on Saturday afternoons at 4:30, reaction to features, and there's even a couple of votes in there, so you can help shape the content on the channel for the next year. In the meantime, there's still daily FM19 content every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30. We're trying to take Torquay to the top of English and European football, and there's still a couple of milestones that have eluded us so far, so hopefully we'll be able to get them in the next month or so. If not, we'll reflect on our successes at the end of the series and look forward to what we've got to do better in FM20. Then finally, we're in the last event of our Snooker 19 career. That continues on Fridays at 4:30. We're in the World Championships, the season ending event, and of course it's the biggest one on the calendar, as we hope to emulate our namesake Ronnie O'Sullivan by winning the final and taking Sean all the way. We've got action from every round as we go along in the tournament and try to cause plenty of shocks along the way, so come and join me to see how we're getting on and how far we manage to get towards our objective. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we look to start the T20 Blast. Our first time in a T20 tournament at county level. Can we make our mark and attract international selection?